Hello, and welcome to another episode of Self-Defense Concepts. Today, I'll be going over another style that I look at and examine to see if it is proper for self-defense use. And the martial arts style that I'll be talking about and examining is pugilism, which is if I said that wrong, it's okay, but it's the expensive word for boxing, most likely Western boxing. Is it applicable in a self-defense aspect? Most of it, yeah, it is. I think it would be. First off, a plus in the self-defense aspect is that for boxing, there has to be a lot of sparring. So basically, while you're learning how to use your weapons, how to use your movement, you are pretty much put into situations to where you have to use it or else you'll get hit or injured. Because of this, there is a lot more of the intensity of a real fight. Now, granted, the unrealistic length of a boxing match or boxing matches compared to a street fight is way out there, but it's still very applicable. In fact, the conditioning of boxing also gives it a additional plus for self-defense, because they have to literally be in their prime almost constantly because they're fighting someone who's also in their prime. And because of that, I like boxing. I've actually loved the boxing ever since I saw from the first few boxing matches that I've watched to, the Rocky movies. I have a lot of respect for the art, for training, for the dedication and the determination. And I'm completely all for that. Now, with that being said, what are the negatives of boxing? So we got the pluses, which is pretty much you're put into the experience of fighting, and you're priming your body for the most extreme conditions. One of the negatives I see with boxing is the fact that it mostly dedicates itself to hands, just hands. Now, granted, there is kickboxing, which can balance that out as much as a boxer who is experienced and has tested their techniques, their movements, and strategies to where they can pretty much take on anyone who does happen to use feet. But me personally, I just feel that me just using my hands, it just feels like I'm just not going all in. Like I'm not using all the weapons available to me. That's one part of the box. What's one point of negatives on boxing? And another one is most likely the hand and gloves, mostly. Now, granted, they condition their hands pretty well, and through all the training that they're going through, they have to know the proper distance and timing and space to throw a punch to make sure that they get the maximum efficiency out of that punch without injury. Granted, they do also have the hand wraps and the gloves, which most likely protects both the person throwing the punch and the person that is being punched, because bare knuckle boxing is a lot more bloodier and a lot more risky. And because of that, because of the risk that the skull itself can take a lot of damage, if you're even a centimeter off target, you could risk messing up your wrist or just cracking one of your knuckles in the most wrong kind of way. So, granted, boxing can teach that. I know depending on what kind of coach instructor you go for, they can instruct you on how to apply this in a self-defense situation, or how to switch this punch or this stance up from a sport of boxing to street boxing. But that's just my views on it. But all in all, I think it's pretty applicable. I would suggest probably adding more of the kickboxing styles in. Besides, there's American kickboxing, there's also karate and other martial arts that involve hand and footwork. As much as you have the most well-known Muay Thai, which I give mad respects to Muay Thai, really do, the science of the 8 limbs. But yeah, just want to leave you that, give you that little tidbit. This is Quan with Self Defense Concepts, and out.